Mr. Nikitas, are you there?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. I'm just waiting on a clerk and a reporter. So as soon as we have those folks join, we'll get going, okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Ori, we need Mr. Ori too. We had a little confusion with who was hosting the meeting. So folks were in another Zoom courtroom, so they're going to get out of that and join our meeting. So bear with us for a couple minutes. Thanks.
Hi, Pat.
Hi, Greg.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Everybody okay?
Yeah, everybody's good. How about you?
Good. Yeah, the same.
Yeah,
And
I apologize. I have two courtrooms, so my laptop's on Jimmy's courtroom and I'm using my phone for Judge Stride.
it's good allocation of resources, I think.
Yeah, it just dawned on me that I'm trying to bounce back and forth, so, Go
I'm
ahead.
told I have not figured out a way to be in two places at once on one machine. I don't know if there is a way.
well, I just bought a new laptop Sunday and I couldn't get Zoom to load up on it. And then I started Googling and found out the Lenovo laptops, there was an issue dealing with it. And I hope I have figured it out now. But, you know, it does, if something can go wrong, something goes wrong. I was using my wife's all the time and it was becoming a problem for her. So, you know, no good deed goes unpunished, you know. So I still was using hers till we figured it out last night. So I'm not,
Well, I think we've got to get used to this, huh, Pat, for some time now.
yeah, and I don't really mind it, Greg, because honestly, it's sure much nicer. At least you put a tie on, wearing shorts and a sport coat and dress shirt than, you know, schlepping over to the courthouse. So
With a
it does
map.
have its,
I agree with you. And my problem is the distractions that are going on here, but I think we'll find our way.
well, you got, you know, two young boys, so I'm sure that makes it much more difficult. Our only issue is, excuse me, the two dogs. But my wife's been on many calls where somebody goes, "What's that noise?" And the one dog has a little breathing issue, so it sounds like it's snoring with its eyes open. So she has to deal with the two dogs under her feet while she's working all day. So
Yeah.
little issues. You've been
Well, we
staying
had
busy,
what's that? Sorry.
getting outside or anything, playing any golf?
I mean, golf isn't even something I can imagine, although my son has played a few rounds and I hope to get out with him. How about you? It's been beautiful, right?
Pretty nice. Been pretty lucky to be able to get out and play. It's kind of it's a fantastic diversion is an understatement. So I think I'd go out of my mind if I couldn't do that. I'm not a homebound guy.
Understood.
Okay, sorry, Judge. Good morning.
No, nothing to apologize for. This was not well engineered by me to get everybody in the same room. Although it is, before we go on the record, nice to see Mr. Quilty here in his shorts, dress shirt, and sport coat. So,
Thanks
Chad,
for listening.
You're going to need to learn how to use the mute feature on the Zoom call. So a couple things. We're going to, this is being streamed pursuant to a accused's rights to have a open proceeding. So this is going on YouTube. The world knows, Pat, that you now wear shorts to Zoom.
I hope I'm not the only one, Judge.
So with that in mind, everybody's going to have to behave accordingly. And again, Jennifer, as always, if you're having trouble hearing anybody, just let me know. And Mr. Ori, you can call the first case.
18 CF 1773, Jacob Newton. Jacob is present via Zoom a Zoom conference call. His attorney, Greg Nikitas, is present via Zoom conference. People by Michael Ori via Zoom. Judge, the case comes on for status of stop probation.
And how are things going for Jacob?
Judge, I did provide you an update. Miss Casey is in the other Zoom call for stop court this morning. He is doing well, and at this time has completed all probation obligations, and the state's going to agree to terminate his case early today.
Any objection, Mr. Nikitas?
Your Honor, we appreciate everything that's been done and appreciate this accommodation for many reasons. It does reward Jacob for his past work and what we hope is a foundation for success going forward.
Jacob, what are you doing? Tell me what you're doing to take care of yourself and be sober.
I'm in school full time, doing summer classes right now, keeping myself busy. I'm working full time, about 36 hours a week, so that definitely keeps me busy. Virtually, I've been doing AA meetings. I call my sponsor daily, every night. Um, Hopefully, whenever the coronavirus pandemic kind of calms down, maybe I can go back to the AA club, Alano Club, until then, because I don't really like the virtual meetings. They're kind of iffy. It's really hard to hear people, and a lot of issues, with online stuff. But making it manageable. The one thing that's really helping is calling my sponsor and just talking to him on a daily basis. He provides really good insight and just helps me with a lot of issues that I go through, trying to help me figure out what I should do and what I shouldn't do. So that definitely helps a lot. So it's just keeping myself busy and using my
It sounds like you're keeping yourself plenty busy between work and school. What are you taking this semester?
chemistry 123 and anatomy and physiology.
And were you on a CNA track or a nursing track? Tell me what you want to do.
Pre-med for doctor.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. And then how long till you get your associates?
This fall, actually.
Good. And then you're gonna start looking at 4-year schools?
Yes.
Where are you gonna look?
I've looked in Chicago. I've looked in Colorado. I've looked in Missouri. I've looked in California. Don't know where I want to go yet.
Yeah, well, listen, college is great, but college brings with it its own challenges when you're in recovery. So you can't walk down the street in Colorado and not be
Yeah.
overwhelmed by the smell of certain things. So you just need to be smart. Pick a place that's going to be pro-social, be supportive. But listen, congratulations. I'll grant the state's motion to terminate early. You're discharged from any further bond conditions or probation obligations to the court, and I wish you nothing but good luck and good health, Jacob, going forward, okay?
Thank you.
You bet. Take care of yourself.
You too.
Thanks. I'm sorry, but where are you from? Oh, that was Jacob's case was his first name. And hang on, guys, I've got an issue. Mr. Nikitas was present. Mr. Ori was present for the state. The case turned successfully, and the defendant was discharged from any bond conditions. And what am I doing with these? Well, oh, they're just dismissal orders? Mm-hmm. Okay, Judge. Oh, okay. I'm doing this for Judge Bishop. Okay. Hang on, guys. I'm sorry, I didn't recognize you with the mask on.
This was 18, and I think I somewhat had an 18 CF.
Mr. Ori, what was Jacob's case number?
18 CF 1773.
1773.
Thank you.
Oops, there you go. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sorry about that.
No worries. Tanisha, can you hear me okay? If you can unmute yourself and let me know.
Yes, Judge. Can you hear me?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, sorry guys, we're having some technical challenges this morning. Mr. Ori, when you're ready. Jacob, you're good to go. You can check out and
All right.
All right,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Judge, the only other case that I have here is with Mr. Nikitas, and his client is not present yet. This before we get on the record, Ms. Hayes. Is Ms. Hayes planning on being present?
Mr. Ori, I have not been able to locate her with the contact information that I had.
Okay. Let me call it, Judge. I'll give you the update, and we can decide at that point what to do. 18 CF 2902, Melinda Hayes. Ms. Hayes is not present. Her attorney, Greg Nikitas, is present via Zoom conference. People by Michael Ori via Zoom conference. Case comes on for status of stop probation. Judge Jeff Martin is the probation officer. He can't be on right now. He's in the other Zoom call. However, he did provide a extensive update, and we were going to be asking for a number of orders here this morning. But the update is that she did finally complete or start becoming involved in the CASA IOP. However, she's left multiple times without permission. NACASA had to reevaluate her level of care. She's been sporadic with her phone contact with Jeff Martin from probation. She has failed to report on a number of occasions, and the ultimate statement from Mr. Martin is that the case has become extremely problematic, and she's not following through with stop probation and treatment as directed. My intention was that she'd appear here this morning and we'd be discussing that, and then I'd be asking for a number of orders this morning. But at this point, at 9:15, she has not appeared. I should also say that Mr. Martin told me that he did not expect her to actually call in or appear this morning, as he has had limited contact.
Thank you. Greg, how do you want to proceed?
Well, Mr. Martin did give her notice to be at this proceeding. She has failed to appear. It is only 9:15. Since she is a stop court client, oral notice is sufficient. So I could ask for a warrant. I just don't know if you want to answer that warrant at 9:15 or you want to give it a little longer to see if she appears.
Greg, have you had any contact with her?
I appreciate that Mr. Ori given some time. I'm just concerned, given the report, my lack of contact and any response from her.
Now, you've attempted to text or email or call or whatever.
I didn't do mail. I just did text and phone.
Okay. Under the circumstances, given the struggles that she appears to be having in the program, court starts at 9. It's 9:17 now. We need to issue a bench warrant and stance her. It's going to be $250,000 on the warrant. Should be made returnable to me, given the conflict with Judge Bishop. And I'm going to ask that if she is picked up on the warrant, that she be dropped by the jail and the results of that test be made available to the court when she is taken into custody.
Thank you, Judge. And I also should state for the record that I believe the Zoom link for the stop court call was sent out to her. So I will go to the other Zoom conference. And if obviously she's there, I will inform Mr. Nikitas and the court right away.
That's fine. I'm open. I've got 2 in-person hearings at 10 and another Zoom proceeding at 10 as well. And I have so end of record on that case. What was her name, Mike?
Melinda Hayes.
I have somebody named Melanie Clements. Do you know who that is?
I don't.
Okay.
I know that Mr. Quilty will need to come over after his case here to the Zoom court for stop for Miss Bernardi, but I don't know.
Well, so I do have a gentleman named David Smith and Mr. Quilty. What are those cases? Are those conflict cases as well? Are those conflict cases as well? Pat, were you here for Miss Bernardi?
I'm here for Bernardi, Judge.
Yeah, that's now Judge Bishop's case.
Right.
There's no conflict on that one. And then I'm not sure, Mr. Smith, why are you here, sir?
I'm here for it's case 19 CF 2094. My attorney is Douglas Zeet. Told me the meeting got changed from the 1:30 to the 9 a.m.
Okay. And is it a felony DUI call?
Yes.
Oh, it is. Okay. So let me just check my calendar. No, it's still on at 1:30. So you may want to reach out. I know I'm sorry. If you can mute me and contact Mr. Zeit now to see if he can jump on the call, Maybe I can do it this morning so you don't have to call back, but
Let me reach out to him. I'll get back if we can. We'll get back on. If not, I'm at work, so I'll just be available for.
yeah.
I'll have to take
Try
a break.
it now though, because I hate to interrupt your work twice. So just mute yourself, reach out to Doug, and if you can jump on, we'll take care of it this morning.
Okay.
Thanks.
Judge, and neither Ms. Clements or Mr. Smith are cases I was aware of. I can try to figure out who can call those cases. But I got to get back also to the other Zoom call for the rest of the stop court.
Okay, Mike, I appreciate it. Nice to see you. Pat, good to see you. Mr. Smith, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to mute myself and kill the video. Let me find out why Ms. Clements is here.
Judge,
Ms. Clements?
Yes.
Ma'am,
No,
there's a lot of background noise. I'm going to ask you to sort of turn down the television or the radio, whatever that
okay.
is. Ma'am, why are you on this call?
I am wanting to observe one of the defendants.
Okay, what was the case, ma'am?
It was the case of Christopher Faulkner.
Okay, Mr. Faulkner's case will not start until 10 o'clock.
Okay,
So you're welcome to stay on, or you can log out and log back on at 10 o'clock.
okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Yeah, he said he was on his way to the meeting.
All right, Mr. Smith, I'm gonna just put you on mute for a sec. I'm trying to get a prosecutor to jump on so we can call your case this morning, okay?
No worries.
Thanks.
Okay.
Mr. Smith, the prosecutor is going to log on in a second, so all we need then is Mr. Zeit, and then we can call it, okay?
Works for me.
Thanks. Lisa, we're just wait. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We're just waiting on Mr. Zeit. So
Okay.
thanks.
Judge,
Yes.
I just called Joe. He said he's in line in Shane's courtroom. He did have it up at 1:30, but he'll be here right after he is done with Judge Shane's.
Can you ask him if there's anything we can do short of an appearance? Is he taking a date? Is he setting trial dates?
It's up for arraignment, so
Okay. Because this gentleman's at work.
okay. I'll text him and ask if we can get a date.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome, sir.
Okay, Judge, he's asking for July 1st. It's a Wednesday.
Well, that would be great, except I don't think I'm doing, well, what time on Wednesday? I have a 1:30 on Wednesday.
Yeah, I don't know what day we're switching to Wednesdays. So
Well, so Well, let's take care of Mr. Smith and then you and I can visit afterwards. So, Mr. Smith, you can unmute yourself. Thanks. Are you available to join us again on a Zoom call on Wednesday, July 1st at 1:30?
Oh, Joe's saying 9 a.m.
Okay, I'll do it at 9 because I'm going back to the regular schedule. Mr. Smith, now this poor guy froze.
Yeah, oh, he said he's available 9 and 1:30, whatever is acceptable to the court.
1:30. Let me see if Mr. Smith unfreezes. This guy's been waiting for like 35 minutes. Lisa, I need to send you that calendar that I'm going to follow.
Sure.
Mr. Smith?
Yes, I'm back. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you froze up on me. So are you available, sir, on July 1st at 1:30 on another phone call and we'll hold your arraignment then?
Is the only thing, is it possible to do, because usually on Wednesdays I work between 8 and 7. Is it possible to do, my best times are if before the store opens at like 9 like this. I know it's, I'm sorry.
No, that was not a exasperation at you. It's just, yeah, we can do it at 9 o'clock. 9
Oh.
o'clock on July 1st.
Yeah, and Doug just said, show my face, and then they know, and then they would pick out a day. But
So let me just explain something to you going forward. I'll do it on July 1st for your arraignment, but I have a very regimented court call, so you're going to have to work with the court's calendar after that.
I understand.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it. We'll see you on July 1st. Bond is continued.
Okay, sounds great.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
And
Be back.
Madam Court Reporter? Yeah, there's no record on that. I'll just strike it and give it a new date with the clerk.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
All right, Lisa, I will email you that calendar that's going to start July 6th.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
All right, then we'll see everybody at 10 o'clock.
Yes.
All right, thanks.
Melanie Clement. Ay, fue la gran puta, mira.
Morning, David. Who do you have?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Chris Faulkner, Faulkner, 20. Yeah, it's 20 CF 804. He's in custody
He is. Okay.
and it's up for arraignment.
Okay.
Mr. Faulkner? Camera on?
Hey, Lydia, it's Chris Strad again. All right, Lisa, you all set?
Yes, ma'am. This
Okay.
is
Just-
zero.
Wait, before you do it.
Oh, I didn't know.
Just remind everybody that this is being live streamed on YouTube to comply with an accused's right to an open proceeding. So with that in mind, behave accordingly. I know we have at least one person watching on YouTube, maybe two. Remember, if you are watching on YouTube, you are strictly prohibited from recording. There is a watermark that says you cannot record. If you do record this, you are subject to sanctions, including being held in contempt of this court. So please, nobody record anything. Ms. LaBeouf, when you're ready, please call the case.
Sure, Judge, I had the PD on this. Is Mr. Weiner filing?
He filed previously, I think.
Okay,
Was there not a discharge order entered though? That's a good thing to check. Dave, you're muted still.
Judge,
Yes. Yes, that shoots. Dave, you're muted again.
can you hear me now?
I sure can.
Thank you. Yeah, I appeared in 110 and filed my appearance there, and the public defender was discharged.
Okay, very well. And then Dave, are you waiving formal reading of the charging?
Yeah, Judge, we would waive formal reading of the charges and enter a plea of not guilty.
okay, I'm just make the record real quick.
Oh.
As court reporter here, I don't see her lit up.
All right, so we're going to start over. Before you do that, Mr. Faulkner, can you hear me all right? You need to say yes or no for me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Lisa.
This is 20 CF 804, People versus Christopher Faulkner. People represented by Lisa LaBeouf. The defendant is present in the custody of the Lake County Jail and appearing via Zoom. His attorney, Dave Weiner, is also present via Zoom. Case comes before you for arraignment.
All right, let me just see one thing real quick. And Mr. Weiner, you're waiving formal reading?
Yes, we are, Judge. And enter a plea of not guilty at this time.
Very well then. Mr. Faulkner, the grand jury returned an indictment against you, sir, charging you with 3 separate offenses. Excuse me, count 1 of that indictment charges you with the offense of aggravated driving under the influence of alcohol. Based on your criminal history that's been alleged in the face of the indictment, that is a non-probationable class 1 felony. It is also extendable, meaning it carries with it the possibility of 4 to 15 years in the Illinois Department of Corrections, up to 30 years if the state can prove to me that you are extendable, followed by a period of 2 years of mandatory supervised release or parole and a fine of up to $25,000. As charged in that count, you cannot receive probation or conditional discharge. Count 2 charges you in a different way with aggravated driving under the influence of alcohol as a class 4 felony. That is probationable, but that is also extendable. Count 3 charges you with obstruction of justice. That also is a class 4 felony. That is probationable and also extendable. So those charges carry with it the possibility of 1 to 3 years in the Department of Corrections, up to 6 years if you were eligible for that extended sentence, followed by 1 year of mandatory supervised release or parole. You could be fined up to $25,000 on each count. Additionally, if in the discretion of the court, they give you probation or conditional discharge, you could receive probation for up to 30 months. You could be fined up to $25,000, as I said. You could face up to 18 months of periodic imprisonment or local incarceration. Sir, do you understand those charges and the possible punishment?
Yes, sir.
I'm entering a plea of not guilty. I'm ordering that the state furnish any and all felony discovery within 7 days of today's date, reciprocal discovery within 14 days of your receipt of the state's discovery to include an answer. Everybody's duty to supplement as I'm going. Mr. Weiner, the first sort of trial date I have is July 6th, but we're not going to be doing jury trials then. Then the next date I have is August 3rd.
Okay, if we can we set a case management date in
We will. I'm going to set a trial date first.
Yeah. I mean, obviously do the August trial date.
Okay. Then August 3rd for trial. Let's set the matter for case management and pretrial. Mr. Weiner, how do you look on Wednesday?
Judge, Wednesdays are my prosecution days, so there's
Okay,
Avoid those like the plague.
okay, all right. I don't want to get in the way of that, so let me look.
My dad's
about-
not coming back, so I got it all on my shoulders now.
Okay, well, I think your dad's entitled to stay home. How about
Yeah.
1:30 on a Tuesday? Would that work?
It should. Would July 7th work?
Hang on one second. Oh, I'm sorry, 10 o'clock. It would be 10 o'clock. Thanks, Bonnie.
Okay. Would July 7th work?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do July 7th at 10 o'clock. Dave, that's the only time I have for the video booth. So we'll set up for case management and pre-trial on July 7th, trial on August 3rd. I know you're in custody, Mr. Faulkner, but if you posted bond or you were released from custody and you fail to appear in court, it's likely a warrant would issue for your arrest. If you didn't appear for that trial date in August or any date that the case is set down for trial, that case could go forward in your absence. If it did, you would waive all your trial rights, including your right to confront witnesses. If you were found guilty in your absence, you could be sentenced in your absence as well. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, then we will see you in July. Thank you.
And Judge,
Okay, thank you, Judge.
we're going to be
Thank you.
electronically filing our disclosures as well as order for discovery. Since this is the second trial date that we have available, we ask that it's motion defendant because the defendant is in custody. I think he left.
Any objection, Mr. Weiner?
No, Judge, that's fine. I mean, it's
Motion
not.
defendant till August 3rd. We'll see everybody then. I have other people on the call or on the Zoom call at least. Dave, you're all done. So was that
Okay, thank you, Judge. Have a
Sounds
great
good to
day.
see you, David. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ms. Clements, what were you waiting on?
Can you hear me?
I can now. What case were you waiting on?
I'm done now.
Okay.
I wanted, yeah.
Okay, very well, ma'am. Then you're excused.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And to our AIM representative, good morning. The remaining matters on the call are motions to revoke or increase bond. Those are being done live in the courtroom. So,
Okay.
so I mean, you're welcome to stay on to the extent that you can hear what we do. But I'll leave the microphones on. You're certainly welcome to be here. I just wanted to explain while you'll hear proceedings going on, but you won't see it on Zoom.
Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome.
I'm on my way down.
Okay, thanks, Lisa. We'll be in recess for a couple minutes.
804, people versus Nicholas Stansel, people represented by Lisa LaBeouf. The defendant is present in court along with Mr. Attorney General Counsel, and also joined by allied directors and probation. Your Honor, this case we did for you for an in-person felon hearing. Your advice is petition to your vote.
Is the state answering right?
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Castle, is the defense answering right? And state, call your first witness.
Where's your phone, Mr. Parker?
Adley, if you step up, what I have you do is sort of sit in the jury box by that last microphone. And then just pull that mic down towards you. Tap on it, so I'm sure it's working. Yeah, it is. I know this is a little unusual, but this hearing is being held in the middle of the COVID pandemic. So we are socially distanced appropriately in the courtroom. And do your best to lean into the mic and answer the question. If anybody can't hear, tell me. Raise your right hand. You swear affirm all truth, nothing but the truth. You can stay. That's fine. All right, thank you. State and spell your name for the record. Can you state and spell your name for the record?
Adley Parker, A-D-L-E-Y, P-A-R-K-E-R.
Mr. Parker, thanks. Ms. LaBeouf, your witness.
Mr. Parker, you're currently probation officer in the Lake County Probation Department, is that correct?
Yes.
And you are assigned to supervise Nicholas Stansel.
Yes.
Do you recognize him here today in court?
Yes.
You please identify him with an article of clothing. Judge, if the record can reflect the identified defendant.
Mr. Samsel has been identified by the witness.
Mr. Parker, how long have you been supervising Mr. Stansel?
Adley, I'm going to ask you to keep your voice up too.
Since 2012, actually.
And on this matter, the 17 CF 2084 case, how long have you been supervising?
Since October of 2019.
And per his probation, what was his requirement in order to report to you monthly? What did you require him to do?
He's required to do a public service hour. He's required to complete the victim impact panel. He's required to attend treatment, be in the castle. He's required to perform 20 hours of public service. He's required to submit to running drug and alcohol testing. He's also required to serve a period of electronic home monitoring.
You indicated he's to report to you. What was your requirement in his monthly obligation to report to you?
Initially, it was once a month.
And then when did it change?
It changed December of 2019.
And when did it change to?
2 times a month.
When was the last time that Mr. Samsel reported to you?
December 18th, 2019.
And since that failed reporting, have you had contact with him?
No.
Have you reached out to him?
Yes, I have.
Have you returned any of your phone calls since December 2019?
No.
And in terms of compliance, would you say he's in compliance with the terms of probation?
As of now, no.
This morning, did you ask him to perform a random drug test for his requirement of probation?
Yes.
Did you perform that drug test?
No.
And why didn't you?
He was unable to provide at the time.
Was he given ample, how much time was he given to perform this drug test?
I give him 5 minutes.
And also during this time, did he have any curfew rules?
Yes, he did.
What were his curfew rules?
He was provided 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. curfew. He could be out beyond the curfew for treatment, work, purpose.
And has he complied with his curfew?
No.
Any instances you'd like to inform the court of regarding his curfew?
And there was a couple of violations, and then there was a couple of violations that I submitted. One in March, and one in May.
Oh, this year?
Yes.
And when your probation department went to the house, you indicated curfew rule, or curfew violation, the defendant was not home on those days?
Right.
Did he call and explain where he was?
He did not contact me.
Did he contact anyone?
I believe that he's had conversations with our PSSU officers that.
But since December, from December to this morning, he has not reported to you. But during that time, he also didn't perform any drug tests for his probation. And you're also not aware of him being in any treatment from December until now that would have drug tested him. And he's currently on probation for aggravated DUI, is that correct?
Yeah.
There's any other question?
Before Ms. Castle's cross, and while the state still controls the witness, the court has a question. You indicated you tried to reach out to him since December 2019. How did you do that, Heather?
I did that via letter, via mail.
Okay, so were there any phone calls, or was it all through mail correspondence?
I believe I could have reached out via phone, Your Honor, but I know that I definitely sent a letter to Mr. Stanton.
Okay, and what did you indicate in the letters?
I'm giving that set up another appointment to report to my office.
Okay, and this was during sort of the shutdown of the court proceedings, correct?
This is after this is after December 18th. I mean, he was scheduled to come in January with this appointment.
Okay, so this is before we sort of shut down.
This is prior to the shutdown. We were not reporting.
Okay, so how many times after December did you ask him to come in?
After December, I believe I sent a couple of letters to him with the appointments.
Okay. Anything based on the court's question, Ms. LaBeouf?
Ms. Parker, do you need to review your notes as to how many letters you sent him after that December appointment?
Yes, please.
If you could let me know once you're done reviewing your letter, your file.
Any objection?
Okay.
Thank you.
No, I do not have the letters in my file.
Okay.
For the date, the specific date. I mean, if I was able to check my notes here, see where I would hit the specific date. But I don't have the specific date.
Okay, but overall, you've been assigned him with this case since October 2018.
Yeah.
And was the requirement to report to you whether it was once or twice a month? That has always been the requirement.
Yeah.
And from December, he failed to show this. Did he fail to show this in December?
He showed up for the administrative sanction that was conducted
And what did with that?
on December 18th.
Okay. Did he show any other dates more in December?
No.
Did he show up any other dates in January?
No.
And none in February?
No.
And did he show up any dates prior to the shutdowns at the end of March?
No.
There's another question.
Okay, thank you. Cross-examination.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Parker, you had mentioned, you said that you have been monitoring Mr. Sanchez since 2012, but in this particular matter, his probation was started in October 2018, is that correct?
Yes.
And up until December 2019, over a year later, would you characterize him, would you say that he was doing well on probation?
For the most part, he had it.
Okay. He was reported as directed,
For the most part, he had it.
and he was tested clean.
Yes, he had.
He completed a 90-day inpatient treatment at his treatment facility. And then he completed 110 hours at CASA as well.
Yes.
And he has completed 76 of the 200 public service hours.
Yes.
And this was the first probation violation memo since he has been on probation since October 2018, is that correct?
So I believe there were 2 violations in this.
Starting in after December of 2019.
Right.
And he has never tested positive for any illicit substance, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, that's correct, or yes, he's tested
Yes,
positive.
he does. It's correct. He hasn't tested positive. He's still out. He's tested clean.
And Ms. Castle, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just wasn't sure.
So I appreciate the clarification. Thank you. When you asked him to complete the drug test today, he was willing to take that drug test. He did not refuse to take the drug test. And he was unable to take the drug test because he did not need to urinate with that test. From your understanding. Thank you. And it's also your understanding that since December of 2019, he has had some familial issues. Is that correct?
I know that he's had familiar issues, but I mean, we have a very good communication after that visit in December.
So you know that he has his newborn baby 5 months old.
Yeah. And
his fiance is going through needing to have a double lung transplant. Is that correct?
Yeah, Erica,
Thank you. Are you also aware that Mr. Samso is the sole provider of his fiance and child? Are you aware that he is a carpenter in a private manager?
Yeah.
And with regard to the curfew violations, Mr. Samso did contact probation, the field officer, after the alleged curfew violation.
Yeah.
So he had communication with probation regarding the curfew violation.
Yeah.
And he explained that he was working on it.
Yeah.
And to your knowledge, since this probation stint from October 2018, this is the first time the state has filed a petition to revoke that probation. Is that correct? Just one moment, please.
Sure. Okay, redirect.
This is argument.
Okay. Mr. Parker, thanks. You're excused. Go ahead, Ms. LaBeouf, your motion.
Judge, there is a pending petition to revoke on file that filed March 5th of this year. In addition to the revocation, what we have before you is a defendant who hasn't reported since December. He's on probation for a class 2 aggravated DUI. We have no idea if he's used any substances from December, even up until today. He's still on having drug tests. He's aware of how to contact probation. He's been sent letters how to contact probation. He called to explain his curfew, but he couldn't call his probation officer. We have an individual that hasn't been in compliance for 6 months. At that point in time, Judge, for the safety of the defendant and the community, we are asking for a cash bond to be set to the defendant's non-compliance. While information he knew he was sole provider, this is something that he should have thought about in December when he stopped reporting to probation. A simple phone call in regards to if he had issues would have sufficed, and probation is always going to work with individuals. But this defendant made the decision in December to stop reporting to probation and not make it a priority. So we're asking for a cash bond.
So just to be clear, I believe the defendant was granted a recognizance bond on his petition to revoke. Is that correct? He's never been arraigned on the petition. So he's just at liberty on probation. Right. So there's really, this is a little bit unusual then, because I'm not sure what I'm setting bond on unless we hold an arraignment on the petition.
I thought he was on Tuesday and I asked for a cash bond.
Okay, all right, so he has been arraigned. Okay, and so the record's clear. We've been doing all our felony cases on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesday's call was particularly unwieldy. I couldn't tell you what I did on Tuesday. That's how much we had going on. So you're asking then for the recognizance bond to be revoked on the petition and for a cash bond to be set.
I'm not sure if you set a recognizance or maybe set it over 42 seconds.
So you're asking for a cash bond on the petition. All right. Contextually, I wasn't sure where we were at. So, Ms. Castle.
Judge, I absolutely appreciate the state's attorney and frankly the probation officer's frustration with Mr. Samso. It is Mr. Samso's responsibility to contact probation when and Mr. Parker, when he testified that he could not recall the amount of letters that he had sent to Mr. Sansel to schedule appointments, I find that particularly irrelevant because it is my client's responsibility to reach out to probation and not the other way around. And we know that he can, and we know that he can call, and we know that he can report because he has been doing it for well over a year. He had, as Mr. Parker testified, he was doing well on probation. He completed a significant amount of treatment, including a 90-day inpatient, and as well as 110 hours at a CASA. He was engaged in public service hours. He had done 76 of those public service hours. He had been on probation for a year and 2 months before any type of probation violation was even submitted to the state, which is, I think, very significant for this court to recognize. Probation violations are typically sent out well short into a probation stint if a probationer is not going to do well or not being compliant. I think it is evident for the court that his significant familial issues is really at the crux of why he started to down spiral in his compliance with probation. He had a newborn baby born 5 months ago. His fiance almost had complete heart failure. She needs a double lung transplant, as Mr. Parker is aware of. And he is aware of that because he has had conversations with Mr. Sansel. Mr. Sansel has let his probation officer know that he is going through some very tough times in addition to obviously the pandemic. He is the sole provider. He's a project manager. He works as a carpenter, and in his line of work, it is not taking away the responsibility of his at all. But on a project, I've spoken to Mr. Sansel about this. It is tough for him to be a project manager, keep track of time, and let his probation officer know that he is working late. I think he realizes now that's no longer an excuse, and he needs to keep better track of time. And he was obviously doing that for well over a year. There are no allegations of failing to engage in treatment, no allegations of any types of positive testing. He was reporting for well over a year.
Come to pick you up.
Cognizant fund and allow Mr. Sansel a chance to get back on track. I think today has been a huge wake-up call for him. I had a very lengthy conversation with my client and told him that it's very likely that he will go to jail today. He's not running away from this court. When I asked him to go to probation, he did. When probation asked to drop him, he was willing. As Mr. Parker said, he was only given 5 minutes because, of course, he had to come back to court. I've spoken to him since. He is willing to drop, and his fortune record is clean, and frankly, for great reason, given that he's never had a positive test for over a year. So with that, I'm asking for a positive response and a continued visit.
Anything further, Ms. LeBeau?
Judge, Mr. Parker said you've been supervising since 2012 to completely forget about your probation obligations for 6 months after you've been doing it for so many years. It is a bit ridiculous. So I believe that a cash bond should be set for his failure to even call and say what was going on. You can't assume that someone's having issues and can't help unless someone reaches out. So I ask for a cash bond.
Well, what I can't assume is that he's going to be positive or negative, because that's the whole point of being in DUI court. I mean, substance abuse led you here. And so the record's clear. I know we've had testimony has been under the jurisdiction of the court since 2012. I only have them under my jurisdiction on the 17 CF. So I'm not considering any of that. It's just the 17 CF case that matters to me. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do anything until you drop. So you're going to have to go to probation, and you're going to have to sit there until you drop. Let me tell you something about Mr. Sansel, and I want this is as much for your lawyer and the state's attorney as anybody else. I'll tell you the way I treat people who can't provide a sample. Now, I don't know how old you are. How old are you?
31.
All right. There's absolutely no reason under God's green earth, if you're healthy enough to work a construction job, why you can't urinate in a cup. Can't think of one, unless you have some medical condition. I didn't hear anything about that. So you're gonna go back to probation with Mr. Parker, and you're gonna provide a sample. And I'm gonna pass this until I find out what the sample is. So I don't know if there's a drinking fountain in the hallway. I don't even remember since probably because of the virus. But I know probation will give you a cup of water and you're gonna sit there and you're gonna stay there. You're not gonna go anywhere until you drop. And then Adley's gonna call the state and tell them what happened. And then you're all coming back to court. I don't wanna do that. I don't wanna make anybody spend their morning in court, but I don't have enough information to make an informed judgment at this point that takes into account your situation as well as the public safety concerns, which are paramount to this court. But going forward, ladies, if you have a client that refuses or can't drop, I treat that, and this is based on 10 years in treatment court, I treat that as a refusal. And a refusal is an admission. That's the way I look at it. So go back to probation. If you run, you don't come back, you don't cooperate, I can promise you a warrant's going to issue for your arrest. Do you understand that? All right, then we'll pass the matter. attorney, the state's attorney, and our probation officers present as well, Mr. Parker.
Judges, my understanding, you just have this case where the defendant passed with probation. My understanding is you did test positive for THC.
Okay, was there an admission of use, Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Okay. State, what's your position?
If we are asking for a cash bond to be set, I don't know what the defendant is doing to pay it all. If you've been on probation for so long in these rules, you know, given the compliance in 6 months, so cash bond should be submitted to that.
Ms. Kessel?
So, after discreetly speaking, my client is willing to engage in treatment once more. I got reports to consider representation first positive test while on probation. I think the fact that he hasn't reported in the past 6 months. But given his significant familial issues, might have been relying on THC to address some of the stressors in his life, which is absolutely no excuse. But it is, I would ask, however, he made it in the court to consider. He's willing to engage in treatment again. We know that he will do that based on the fact that he has done that while on this probationary period. He completed inpatient, he completed 110 additional hours. I'm asking the court to give him one final opportunity to remain at liberty on his own recognizance, so he can continue providing for his family and working towards sobriety instead of very short hearing.
Adley, what's out there for him, treatment-wise? So I guess this is a couple things. Or ordinarily, and this is, again, this is my philosophy, I guess, and the lawyers are getting used to how I look at things, but I wouldn't remand somebody for a positive THC test. I just wouldn't. I mean, my experience, 15 years says it's historically not a great risk indicator of where somebody is in their recovery. The problem I'm having is I've got an utter lack of compliance with probation plus a positive test. Mr. Samsel, come up here. You're sitting in the back. I want you to don't sit at the same table as Ms. Castle. Sit all the way in that chair. No, just right up in front of the rail there. Yeah. So what I'm hearing is that you've got a newborn, you've got a sick fiance, you've got a busy job, you're testing positive for cannabis, and you're not engaging in your probation requirements. You're 31 years old. So the state wants me to set a bond on the petition to revoke, which I'm going to do. I'm going to set a $25,000 cash bond, which means you need $2,500 to post to be released from custody. Here's what you've got to start thinking about. You want to be a dad? Don't get high. You want to provide for your family and keep your job? Call your probation officer when he sends you a letter. You want to have a life? Follow the rules. It's not complicated. It really isn't. And here's the thing about it. You start doing the things you're supposed to do and really honestly engaging in your treatment and stop looking at it as a mountain you've got to climb, you're going to get better. Then you're going to start making decisions that support your child, that support your fiance, that lead to a healthy, productive life. You keep looking at this as the court or probation being a pain in your backside, you're not going to get anything out of it. That's not what this is about. You know, I've had plenty of 31-year-old guys that I've talked to in 15 years that have drug issues that say they want to get better, they turn around, and the next thing I know, the state notices their case up to dismiss it because they die of an overdose. Don't do that. You want to legitimately get better. You've done some good work here. You did 90 days inpatient, you did 110 hours outpatient. You've got almost half your public service hours done. Those are all good things. he hadn't done those things, it wouldn't be a $25,000 bond, it'd be a $250,000 bond. Adley, how quickly can we get him lined up, do you think?
I think, I believe you make a contact with the CASA, you can give them a schedule within a week's time.
All right, I'm gonna set,
We look at outpatient.
yeah,
Typically, on the positive urinalysis test, considering all of the treatment completed, there are some programs, there are some presentations that we offer to the probation department. I would be willing to refer him to that wouldn't amount to the amount of treatment that would require use of the positive test.
right.
We typically wouldn't go that far. He was willing to regain the treatment, but I wouldn't, at the first positive test, I would have referred him to one of our community outreach programs, presentations, or relapse prevention, something along those lines.
Is he done COG? Is he done?
No, he hasn't done COG. We have MRT, but that's a weekly substance abuse program. That probably would interfere with his employment.
Okay.
Those are day reporting programs. I was thinking of that, but that would mean that he would have to miss work probably one day a week to participate. But I would think that would refer to.
So here, for the record, in fairness to our reporter, COG is COG. It's short for cognitive behavioral therapy. MRT is short for moral recognition therapy. Recognition is a made-up word. Go ahead, Adley.
So technically, he wouldn't, the COG is for the high risk assessment. He's not considered technically in the area of the high risk. Therefore, he wouldn't really qualify.
Okay.
Technically, for COG.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you the discretion as probation to refer him for any treatment or classes that you feel are necessary. I'm going to set this case for next, geez.
Would you consider a bond release?
Yeah. I was going to set it next week, but to say it's awful is an understatement. It's abysmal. Yeah, but I'm gonna set it at 10 o'clock on the 23rd. Sorry, Bonnie. For bond review, I'm also going to ask that pretrial bond services prepare a bond report to be made available to the court. I know he's on probation. I've heard a lot about his compliance, but Adley, I don't know if it's a scram device. I don't know if it's a sweat patch. I don't know if it's treatment, but whatever the young man needs, get him. Mr. Samsel, this is a hole you dug for yourself, period. So you got to figure out if you want to get better. And you better start figuring that out starting today. So you're remanded. We'll have your case up on Tuesday, the 23rd for bond review, status of probation. We'll see where we're at. Yeah, if you put, thanks, Jill. If you post bond the $2,500, you still have a court date. You still have to appear via Zoom on that court date. And to your credit, you showed up and you stayed, and that's something I've taken into consideration as well. So, all right, we'll see the rest of you at 1:30. Yeah, he'll get phone calls from the jail for sure.